Hello everybody, it's time for the last Hearthstone card review thing until the reveal stream. Now the first reveal stream is starting in just a couple of days. It's starting on the 18th or 19th, can't remember which one. And then goes to the 28th. So, yeah, really excited. Alright, let's get into the new cards. These are my first time seeing most of these. I did accidentally sneak a peek at one or two of them, but that's okay. So the first one we're going to be looking at is Time Out. A paladin card, 3 mana. Your hero is immune until your next turn. Now, I'm wondering the real uses for this as paladin. If you're using a weapon, then this could be useful because then, you know, obvious weapon synergy is obvious. You're able to hit something like a minion or something and not take any damage, while you're doing potentially a lot of damage to a reasonably large minion. But what are some of the other applications? Paladin doesn't have a whole lot of self-harm cards. This could be used as a sort of pseudo-ice block if you think your opponent's going to win in the next turn and you need that extra turn, you could play it. But yeah, this being a 3 mana, instead of it being a secret, it is a controlled ice block. While it does have some of its uses, I feel it might be too expensive at 3 mana. But at the same time, it is a common, so I could definitely see this having very niche, very specific application for it being a common. So it's really not bad as far as commons go. You know, I always give commons a little bit of leeway because they're things that everybody is going to get. Everybody is going to get Paladin Ice Block. So we'll just have to see the further applications of that beyond it being a sort of weapon synergy sort of thing. Or just an Ice Block. Really, the fact that it can do both. Ice Block can't really do both. This can. So there is that, at least. Alright, next. Sorry, I'm licking my lips. I'm really thirsty and I ran out of water and I'm an idiot. Next. Ticket Scalper. Neutral card. 4 mana. 5/3 pirate. Overkill. Draw 2 cards. So to refresh you guys, Overkill is if this thing hits a minion and kills it and does more than its remaining health. So if this thing hits a 2/4 and it deals the 5 damage, it did 1 extra damage, that procs the Overkill. Now, I'm not sure if Overkill procs multiple times. Like, could I do this Overkill and then heal it and then do it again to draw more cards? Because if so, this is a potentially really good card actually for Priest. I know, Priests don't care about pirates, but because it's neutral and it's common, you could see this going into sort of a buff Priest deck, wherein you want to give this thing some more health, and then you use it as sort of a card engine while also being an effective minion while you're healing it. So that's pretty cool. More on the nose with Pirate is Warrior and Rogue. Rogue has a ton of card draw potential already. It doesn't really need this, but in a Pirate deck, while we haven't seen a Pirate deck before, it has all the makings and the fixing of one if we get the right pirates. So it could go into a Pirate Rogue. Pirate Warrior, slightly less so. Pirate Warrior really wasn't all that good to begin with. It just had a few specific pirates that made it really good, and a few specific weapons that built off of those pirates being good. So, that being said, Warrior doesn't have a whole lot of card draw. At least not for multiple cards. They have a whole bunch of, like, draw 1 extra cards. So, if you really wanted this in a Warrior deck, you could do it. But I'm personally seeing this with the pirate tag being completely irrelevant and this going into a buff Priest deck and being a sort of card engine. I know that Priest has a lot of card engine already, but it doesn't have a lot of card engine that can also kill. This has 5 attack on it already, and it's only 4 mana. Plenty of opportunity for Priest shenanigans there. Next, Heavy Metal! Warrior card, 6 mana, summon a random minion with cost equal to your armor up to 10. So as long as you have 7 or more armor, this is good. How difficult is it to get 7 armor? It's actually incredibly easy. There's lots of cards that give you 5 armor. Plenty of cards that do more than that if you're willing to sacrifice a couple of things. You could do the armor thing that gives you 10 armor but decreases the cost of all your enemies' minions, and then do this on the same turn and summon a 10 cost minion. It would cost you 7, 8. It would cost you 8 mana to summon a 10 cost minion. It's not much of a discount, but it is but that is like a 1-turn combo where you get 10 armor plus you summon a 10 mana minion on the same turn. This is obviously better in some bigger armor deck, such as with the mechs, when you've got the little mechs that give you armor and you can buff it with the magnetics. Or just straight up Armor Warrior or Taunt Warrior, where you can spend the time. Or the Bagu the Moon Eater. That gives you 4 armor every time you hit the button. Eventually, you're going to have more than enough armor to make this worth it. But you have to sort of be playing a deck that because this card relies on you having more than 6 armor at a specific time. So, yeah, in those decks, I think it'll be good. Otherwise, I think this is probably a skip. Though, to be fair, in Warrior, it's just not hard to get armor. So, I definitely think that this will see a little bit of play. It's probably not going to be good, guys, because it's random. People, like, random is just famously unreliable. It is worth noting that big minions, like 7, 8, 9, 10 mana minions, don't tend to completely destroy the board when it's summoned out of a spell like this. Like, even Yogg-Saron doesn't destroy anything when you pull him out of this. He's kind of useless. He's a 7/5 at that point, but, you know, it's still something. I think it'll see some play. I'm not entirely convinced it'll be good, though. Next. The Belligerent Gnome. Neutral card, 2 mana, 1/4 with Taunt. Battle Cry. If your opponent has 2 or more minions, gain +1 attack. So, a 2 mana, 1/4 with Taunt is already kind of okay. However, this becoming a 2 mana, 2/4, if your opponent has 2 or more minions, it's a great late game lead-in. Like, you play this, and then the rest of your turn that actually deals with those 2 minions. So that you get like a little sneaky 2/4 out there as well. It's not an amazing card on its own in that right, but to be absolutely fair, you look at the other 1/4s with Taunt, they're usually costed at 3. So this being 2 cost makes it better. It really does. So I do think it'll see some play. And what's even better is that with the other 2/4s, it doesn't require some weird, stupid stuff. So I actually think that this is going to see at least a little bit of play. It might even see more play if people can get used to playing it in order to get it a 2/4. It's definitely going to see play in any early game like Taunt, in any control-y type decks where they don't want to get smorked at the beginning of the game. Next, the Spirit of the Dead, the Priest Loa Totem card. 1 mana, 0/3, stealth for 1 turn. After a friendly minion dies, shuffle a 1-cost copy of it into your deck. Now, hear me out. This is the card that I saw. I saw it also revealed Bwonsamdi at the same time, so we're about to see Bwonsamdi, but I clicked off of Bwonsamdi. because I didn't want to be spoiled. I want to see what he is now. So, but I did see this. I couldn't avoid seeing this. So here we have the Spirit of the Dead. Here's the shenanigans that I thought up. And it's not good. Okay, this isn't a good idea. But it's a really funny one. It's a really memey sort of fun thing that you can do. Wherein you play the Spirit of the Dead, right? And then you play the card that summons a copy of a minion with 1 health left. And then you either kill that one, or if for some reason that survives, then you play either another one of those that gives you another copy, or you use the one that gives you a 5/5 copy, or really any other copy card. If you copy this card and it puts a copy of itself into your deck that costs, I mean, it already still costs 1, but you're basically securing the continuation of this card engine, because that's what it is. It's a card engine. It shuffles a 1-cost copy of any minion that dies. So if you fill your deck with copy cards, draw cards, and cheap cards, and you copy this thing a bunch of times, and you play cards that you're trying to control out and run it into their minions, get it to die, draw more cards, play them out, and you keep doing that, eventually the opponent's going to run out of stuff, and you're never going to, because you will still have the same deck that you started with. Possibly even some extras because of copy cards. It's some ridiculous shenanigans, and I think with some specific cards actually like being aimed at this, it could be vastly overpowered. But just doing control draw priest with this, just like complete undead army sort of thing, I would be down for that. I think that would be a lot of fun. I don't think it would work beyond the first day, but it would be a lot of fun for that day. I definitely want this, and I definitely want to experiment with it. I'm so excited to see this. Okay, next is Bwonsamdi. It's the card it was one of the cards I'm most excited for. I'm most excited for Bwonsamdi and Gonk. I really want to see Gonk. I'm really into druids and stuff. More their lore than actually playing them in Hearthstone, but I also like playing them in Hearthstone. So I'm really excited to see Gonk, but now we're going to see Bwonsamdi. Bwonsamdi the Dead. 7 mana, 7/7. Battlecry, draw 1-cost minions from your deck until your hand is full. So, this very obviously synergizes with the Spirit of the Dead. So this would be more for a big priest, where you've planned it out just so that you've got, like, your obsidian statues, and your Sarahs, and your Deathwings, and your big stuff, your Twilight Dragon, the 5/8 that can only attack when it's at full health. The big stuff. You've planned it out so that it's died to this thing, and it's gone into your deck as a 1-cost, and then you play Bwonsamdi, and all of those come out at once. And it's almost like a recruit deck for Priest, finally. Except it's just a way better idea in general. Like, it's like recruit, but better. That's Bwonsamdi. and yeah. It actually does sort of require, sort of like the Demonology Warlock, it requires that the card be killed first in a very specific way. But if you do it, then you can play this, and some crazy shenanigans can go down. Of course. Excuse me. Of course, then your board is full of giant things. Or potentially not giant things if you get a bad... If you're just, like, throwing stuff out, and you're just hoping that the big stuff comes back, and it comes out as a whole board of little stuff, then you're sad. But even if it's all big stuff, you're then sort of saying, okay, pass, destroy my board, please. Play your brawls, play your Deathwings, play your poisonous pyromancer or whatever. I don't think poisonous pyromancer still works. I think they fixed that. But all those other ones where it's just like board clear, haha. But I'm definitely liking Bwonsamdi. 100%. I want Bwonsamdi, if only because he is Bwonsamdi, you know? Like, it really didn't matter what his card was. What mattered was that Bwonsamdi is there. and there he is, and I want him. So there you go. Those are the cards. I think those are all the cards that have been released so far. I think Bwonsamdi was the earliest. Yeah. So that's all until the reveal stream. So really fast, I want to go through. I didn't do this. I completely forgot. I think I actually want to make a separate video where I'm giving the thumbs. In fact, I might just forego giving the thumbs entirely. I was literally about to do the thumbs, but I'm like, maybe when they've all come out, all 135, I'll actually do a video very quickly of just thumbs. So that way, when I go back and I do the retrospective, which, by the way, I still haven't done for Witchwood, and I need to. Not Witchwood, I did Witchwood for Boomsday. I did the one for Witchwood. I'm pretty sure I did the one for Witchwood. Well, if I didn't do the one for Witchwood, I really need to go back. But I'm pretty sure I did. But I need to go do the retrospective for Boomsday. But if I do a video that's just thumbs for that, it'll make doing that a lot easier. Anyway, I've rambled for no reason. The video ended a long time ago. Goodbye, everybody.